Hello, Max. Hello, Max. Welcome, Julia. Welcome, Peyton. Okay, well, I guess we'll get started. I can't hear anybody, so I'm a little worried about who's out there, but it doesn't matter. We're good. Let's get this party started. A couple of things. Just wanted to talk about today's gig is kind of circles, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Well, we're going to enter this new enter a new unit on circles. And so this first ones are pretty simple. We talk about the circle glossary. And so what the circle glossary thing is about is, I wonder if I should, let's see if I can go to a whiteboard and then I'll annotate it. So what we have is, move some stuff around on my desktop. So we have a circle, and let's see if I can get some drawing going on here. So if I have a circle, we have a couple things going on there. And obviously we have the radius. Let's see if I can. We have the center point. We have points on the center, and then we have lines. Of course, we have a radius, and that's called the radius. And then, I mean, just pretty. This first part is kind of the glossary, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. A couple of things I wanted to let you know about, and that you may not be aware of. First off, this line here is called a tangent line. Okay. So I want you to realize that's the tangent line. I think I spelled that wrong. Okay, and it hits it intersects the circle in one spot. Um, so, and then the other thing is we also have a secant line, and that's important as well. So a secant line comes across here, and that is called the secant. Okay, now, then if I look at just this point right here, or this segment here, between here and here, that's called a chord. And a chord just intersects the circle at two different points. So there's a special chord. Well, let's just label that real quick. So that's a chord. Okay. Now, now that we have a special chord that you guys are all aware of, and a special chord goes through the center of the circle, and that is called the diameter. So no big deal. So that's kind of just some of the things that you may or may not be aware of. Okay, so that's basically, I mean, this is not going to be a real long conversation because what you're doing right now is pretty straightforward. So that's kind of the idea. So today, what you're going to do, let's see here. You're going to just do your geometry, work down your note taking guide, and you. Okay, Max is asking, should I take notes? No, you don't have to take notes. You should take notes on the note pacing guide, the note taking guide, otherwise known as the pacing guide. So that's all we're talking about. I'll write that down. No. All right. So I hope that makes some sense. Out of the 523 people I invited, 5 people showed up to this meeting. That's interesting. So right now, especially today, we're doing Circles Glossary. So it should not be a big deal to you. So this is this part right here. It just shouldn't be a big deal. If I was to go to here, we can.
These are specifying the same thing.
All we're doing is your tangent line, your secant line, and then these are, you have chords, the chords I was talking about, the diameter, and so that's kind of what we're after. Okay. Now we also have some arcs that we should talk about. So let me go back to my thing with arcs. So now if I have a point here, okay, we have a point here, and we have a point here. Okay, so I'm going to put another point over here. Okay, so let's call this A, a B, and C. Okay, so now, so then when we measure this is the arc length. Okay, so that's the arc length BC. So I'd call that arc length BC. So, and it's hard for me to write BC, and would just to indicate arc length. Well, that means that's that arc from B to C. Now, if I wanted to talk about A to C, I'd go AC. So AC, and then the other one is I'll say AC again, because what I want to talk about, this is the So if I want to talk about AC, that's the minor arc, what we call the minor arc, because it's the shortest distance around. I would go AC. Now, if I wanted to go to the major arc, well, okay, let's cross this out. Let's say if I wanted to go major arc AB, okay, so this is the minor arc. Okay, arc. So, and then if I wanted to go to the major arc, I would have to go, all right, down here, I would have to go ACB, ACB, to indicate that I'm going to that, this would be the major arc. Okay, and what I would do is I would have ACB because, and I would just write over there. Okay, that means that it's going to go from A to B through C. A to B, but it has to be go through C. So this is the arc that we're talking about. I can't really change my color, but so this is, we're going to go around here. Okay, so a terrible drawing. I'm using my pad. I need to get a pen, but I don't have one yet. So that's the idea. So we're going to go all the way around the circle. Oops, to B. So this is from A all the way through C to B, and that is the major arc. So if I was to say like the arc AB, I could say the mark. So that's the minor arc. The major arc is ACB all the way around it. So that's important to understand. The other thing that we talk about is this angle right here. Let's say that is about 45 degrees. It's not, it's about 35 degrees, but so let's say this is 35 degrees. So 35 degrees, that is called the a central angle. So all of these angles, this is a central angle, this is a central angle. So all of those angles are central angles, and I want you to know that because they have the center of the circle as their vertex. Okay, so then this so the arc measure is 35 degrees. The arc measure. So this would be so you know that, so this would be, this arc measure here would be 35 degrees. Okay, not arc length, but arc measure. So anyways, so there we go. Let the games begin. Does anybody have any questions that you would like to ask me about anything that we're doing right now? I'll wait for it. You can type it out. You can just chat it. Hello, anyone? Is there anybody out there? No questions from Max. Yeah, whatever, Max. I'm kind of lonely here. I want to answer questions. Okay. Peyton and Julia is ready to roll. This first day especially is going to be pretty easy. So get ahead of it, work hard at it, and I think we're done. Who is A? Is that Avery? Awesome. Okay. Well, enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions. You can email me. I am monitoring my email. This meeting didn't take very long. So you guys enjoy. And Justin, how you doing, buddy? Really back to bedtime? Really? You guys are funny. Okay. Well, oh, and Tyler's in the game now, Justin and Tyler. Well, I'll hang out here. If you want to leave the chat, leave the room, you're welcome to do that. But if you have any questions, we can certainly talk about them too. And you betcha, Peyton. If you want to go ahead and just go ahead and chat in whatever you want to ask a question, that'd be great too. How come I can't hear anybody?
Is it because everyone else is muted?
Hello. Oh, okay. Is this Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler. Thank you for piping in. I just hadn't heard. You're the first voice I've heard.
I just joined. I just got in.
I noticed that. Good. That's fine. I'm glad that you did. So, all right. So, thank you for that. So, yeah, and you can mute now, or I'll mute you, whatever. And then, but if you have any questions, I can go over this whole thing again real quick. It won't take very long. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think maybe I'm going to try to clear this whole thing and then go again. How's that? Josh is in the game, and Marina. Good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clear some of this stuff, and then I'll talk about it again. So this is my little whiteboard. So so what we're talking about this time, I'll just kind of go over it again. Some people have been dropping out. Julia, you can leave. Avery, you can leave if you want. Pete, you can leave. But what I'm trying to do is just kind of go over things as I can. So real quick, we're just talking about circles, and most of the stuff is pretty straightforward. I just want to go over a couple things that may not be, and I want to make sure that you're aware of that. We do have a center of a circle. And by the way, just for kicks, you guys know that the center of the circle is never on the circle. It's just the center of the circle, okay? And so we can go ahead and draw lines through here. Okay, we got a diameter. We do have a radius. Change that again. So, but we also have a radius. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just label some of these points just so that we have some points here. A, B, and then I'm going to put another point out here somewhere. C. Oops. I guess better with text. C. So anyways, let's see, it's kind of like dangling there. So anyways, so what we're looking at, real quick, hey, Edward, welcome to the show here. So just generally what I want you to understand is like, we're going to talk about a secant line, okay? But diameter, radius, these are all things that you guys know. But what I want you to realize is that we do have such a thing as a secant line. And a secant line just goes through the circle. Actually, I'm going to undo that. I'm going to, because it's a line, it'll have arrows on both sides. So that is a secant line, okay? So I want you to recognize that. Question, Edward?
No, nothing really.
Okay, bud.
For excuse me, for our notes, we're
Yep.
just gonna fill in like on that screenshot that you sent us,
Yes.
or just on a doc.
No, you can just fill it in right on the pacing guide.
Is that on Google? That's on Google Classroom, right?
Yes, it should be Google Classroom, a PDF included in Google Classroom.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, no big
This
deal.
is quite the adventure.
It is, isn't it? I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And we need to look at it as such, knowing that God is in control. And guess what? Things will be just fine.
Yep.
So, we'll just we're going to try to eke as much out of it as we can, educationally, and keep moving.
Alrighty.
Life is a kick. So, yeah. So, yeah, no big deal. Okay, bud?
Alrighty.
So I'm going to mute you just so that it doesn't get crazy. So a couple of things. So real quick, there's a secant line, and then I got to make another one. Then we also have what we call a tangent line, and a tangent line intersects the circle at just one point. So that's a tangent line. Okay, and so that's kind of what we're talking about here. I'm going to do that somewhere else so that we don't get confused. This is a tangent line. Okay. Okay. So, and then part of that is we have, so this, right, let me see if I can change I can change my color. So between, let's see if I can get another line here. So from here to here, oh, perfect, it's the same color. Okay, that is a chord. It's called a chord. So, okay, and so those are just some things that you may or may not have known before. So I just want to let you know that, because we're going to talk a lot about that. Now, the other thing is I wanted to call to your attention that this is a, right here, that is called, maybe that's 35 degrees or something. Anyways, so that's going to be, that is a central angle. Okay, anything that has the vertex on the center of the circle, that's called a central angle. Okay, central angle. So this is a central angle here. This is a central angle here. Because it's a diameter, this would be 180 degrees. So that's kind of the idea there. No big deal. Life is good. I wanted to call to your attention arcs. So we have 3 points on this line right here. And we do have arcs. So an arc, we have the arc AB. No, I think you'll get this all out of the text. But if I go to AB, and then I got ABC, or actually CAB. Actually, I'm going to say B or ACB. Okay, so if I'm talking about this arc right here, this arc here, AB. Oh, it's supposed to be that way. Okay, then this is that arc right here. Okay, and so I call that arc AB, and that is called a minor arc. Okay, because it's the shortest distance. Okay, then, but if I call it ACB, then that's going from right here. Okay, arc ACB goes all the way A through C, all the way to B. Okay, so that's called a major arc. Okay, so there's a big difference there. Okay, now this distance here is called the arc length. Okay, so this distance along the circle is called the arc length. I think maybe I'll write that out here. Okay, now whereas the distance or the angle measure is the arc measure. So there we have it, no big deal. So those are some things that you can kind of clue in on. No big deal. You have circles to do today, and I think we're about done. So any questions that you might have, you can go ahead and chat to me.
I think we're good.
Okay. Okay, no big deal. It's not going to change anybody's life, huh? Okay, you guys enjoy, and I will, hey, we'll talk again later. I'm going to wait for anybody else, but you're welcome to go take care of business. Oh, John is in the house. Mr. John Harris. How are you?
Good.
Good. What's going on?
I saw my email, so I joined it.
Good. Good. That's awesome, John. So a couple of things here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I'm not sure when you joined, but just the things that are going to be a little different, or we have a secant line, and this is a secant line. Can you see my arrow?
Yeah.
Okay. So this secant line goes all the way across here, and then we have a chord is the segment where it intersects the circle. We also have a tangent line, and a tangent line touches the circle only at one point.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have all these angles here would be central angles because they're right in, they are, so they're at, they just have the vertex is at the center of the circle. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and mute you so I can talk, and so that that nobody's listening to you. Just a sec here. I'm going to mute you. Okay, but I'm going to continue to talk. So we have the central angle, and then we have arcs. Now, arc is like from arc AB. This is arc AB. Now, if I want to talk about the major arc, maybe I want to talk about this one that goes all the way around here. I can do that by saying this. So this is called AB was the minor arc. The major arc going all the way around that is going to be ACB. So it's going to go A through C all the way around to B. So that's kind of the idea there. So that's kind of what we're up against. So now the distance along the circle is called the arc length. That's from here to here. That's the arc length. And then there's also the arc measure, which is always this angle measure. So this is the degree measure, and we'd also call this the that angle measure is also the arc, what we call the arc measure. So that's kind of where we're at. So I hope that's helpful to you. It's not a big deal. It's not going to really change your life today, but just wanted to go over some of those things. All right. So that's where we're at. Make sense to you? And you guys can chat with me. Sometimes that's the easiest when we have a few people on here. We only have 4 people on right now. Can you guys tell who's on and who's not? So everybody's muted, but you can still text. You can do the chat. Okay, so hey, it's 9:33. If you guys, if you don't have questions, you can, just keep moving. And just let me know if you have questions. I'll wait for just a few more minutes, and then I'm going to shut down this meeting. Okay, so just let me know what you're thinking. Good question, John. Okay, I'm gonna close her down. Hey, thank you all. I will. Oh, Kenan shows up. Wait a minute. How you doing, Kenan? Kenan, I was just gonna sign off, my friend. So um we're just doing circles. It would appear maybe your sister was on. Um, but we just talked a little bit about what's on the screen there. Notable items, secant line, and then the segment between where the secant line hits the circle is called the chord. It's a chord right here. And let's see here. These are central angles. Boom. Anything that has the vertex as the center. This is the tangent line. Just hits the tangent line, always hits the circle at one point, exactly one point. And then we have a minor arc is AB. That's what we're talking about along the outside of the circle. And major arc goes through, this is the major arc, AB. Okay, so how we would say that is we go a CB, just to kind of show that it's going around the outside. So that's why I would say a CB is the major arc. Now the arc length is the distance from here to here. That's the arc length. And the angle measure is the arc measure. That's the measure of this arc. So that's about what we got, my friend. So no big deal. I think you can handle it. So I'm going to stop my share and stop the meeting. You guys enjoy, and I will again talk to you later. Plan on doing this every day, just so you know. Okay, but it's optional. Ryan, we started at 9, my friend.
There we go. Yeah, I know.
Ah, silly. So we're gonna go again tomorrow, but we're just talking about circles. So
Okay.
I think you're gonna probably be fine. Where do I still have it? Yeah, there's my, these are the notes. That's all I had. So it's not gonna change. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So all we're talking about here is we have a secant line, and that's a line that just crosses the circle into,
Mhm.
cuts the circle. Chord is just the segment between here. Tangent line hits the circle at just one point. A central angle. There's 3 central angles that are shown here. There's one here, one here, one here, because when the vertex is at the center of the circle. And we talked about minor arcs. This is a minor arc, AB. This is how we'd write it. And,
Uh-huh.
and then the major arc would go all the way around here. Okay, that's called the major arc. And how we can write that is ACB, arc ACB, major arc. Okay, and then distance along the circle is the arc length. This would be the arc length, or right here. The measure of arc's length is, we'd write that as M, and then AC. So the measure AC, and we just draw a line around it, over it. So that's the arc length. And then the arc measure is really the measure of this angle. So if this is 35 degrees, okay, then the arc measure is equal to 35 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, no big deal.
Mhm.
Okay, buddy. Well, you enjoy, and we will talk to you again tomorrow. We'll do this every day, but it's optional. You don't have to join.
Is it also going to be at 9?
Yes, every day at 9 for geometry. And you
Okay.
should have the same, everything, all the codes and everything should be the same.
Okay.
Okay, bud. Okay, Ryan, take care.
Thank you.
Yep, see you later. Bye.
See you later.